So it is Friday, March the 27th here in Canada. And I guess we're coming to the end of the second week of social distancing and our new norms with kids home full-time because schools are closed. I'd like to tell you that a lot of businesses are closed, but they're not. We have a lot of... When the list of essential services came out, a lot of people were surprised to find out that they work at a place that's deemed essential. So while I feel like we're nearing the end of week 2 of social distancing, I also feel like we haven't really started because there's still too much spread happening with so many people still working. So yeah, I am grateful that I'm not a policymaker, and I understand that the government is struggling with what rules do they implement, what rights do they take away from people, because they've already essentially told businesses that aren't on the essential list that they need to close, right? So I will say that I may not agree 100% with what all levels of government are doing here in Canada, but for the most part, I have been pretty impressed with what they have been doing. And I really get the impression from policy that has started to roll out that all levels of government, that all parties of government are working together to come up with the best plan. And I feel like that's happening. I've heard that that's happening, and I feel like it's happening based on some of the policies that have come out. So that's all positive news, right? I do feel like life is going to be very different when this is over. Very different globally. And I wonder if this is a time right now for us to be reevaluating globalization, right? Really, globalization, is it a good thing? Obviously, there's pros and cons to everything, right? And then who determines what pros outweigh what cons, right? I guess that's my thought, because there are certain countries that we are destroying their land and their countries by this globalization, right? There are lots of countries where the stuff that they produce in their own country, they can't compete with another country globally that doesn't have the same labor standards or health standards or policies or environmental policies or rules, essentially, that other countries have to abide by. So it is essentially cheaper to get something that's made in China than something that is also produced here in Canada. And so I wonder if maybe we need to start reevaluating. Maybe we need to get back to focusing on what here in our own country we can produce. We need to start putting money into people's jobs and value into them so that, many of these deemed essential services are people that are working for minimum wage or just above. And these are the people that are carrying us right now through this, global pandemic. And prior to this global pandemic, they weren't really valued as employees or valued as workers. Not most people, but their jobs are not deemed desirable. They don't pay well, and I think we need to reevaluate that. I think think there's a lot of pain and fear and cost that will be associated to the coronavirus, but I also feel that it's also an opportunity that we haven't had in many, many years to reevaluate life and how we're living it and what we're doing to our planet, how we treat our fellow human beings. So yeah, I'm trying to remain excited and positive about all the potentials that this can bring. Otherwise, I hope you are all well and safe. I wish you the best, and that's my check-in for this morning.